We are talking about it, as are leading economists and some other members of the media that are starting to address the underlying and very sinister aspect of the way our financial system pays off those in charge and in the process is destroying housing and unemployment in this country. Even Hollywood weighing in last night.
3 years after a horrific financial crisis caused by massive fraud, not a single financial executive has gone to jail, and that's wrong.
So why is Washington, the president, Eric Holder, the Department of Justice, ignoring the problem? How much longer can they simply turn the page? And now, while Wall Street escapes scot-free, middle-class Americans are the true victims, which is why we're seeing standoffs at the state level, places like Wisconsin, Ohio. But the bottom line is simple. Until we see the handcuffs come to Wall Street, we will not be able to take the necessary steps to end the ongoing schemes, rein in the banks, restore fairness to America's financial system, and more importantly, a square deal for Americans. Joining us now is Phil Angelides. He's the chairman of the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission.
There shouldn't be vengeance in this country, but there needs to be a real sense of justice, that the powerful and the wealthy are subject to the same judicial system as the rest of us in this country. And when you look at a lot of these settlements, think of it for a minute. If someone knocked over a 7-Eleven and took $500, and then they settled and paid $50 with no admission of wrongdoing, they're going to knock over that 7-Eleven again. And so if there's no deterrence, if there's no certainty when there is wrongdoing, then we're going to be back where we were. What's happening now is they don't want to change the rules to reform Wall Street up on Wall Street. They want to change the subject. They're going after teachers in this country who make $50,000 a year on average. Forget what a young day trader makes just coming out of college on Wall Street. They want to go after teachers' pensions. The median pension here in California for a teacher is $2,400 a month. So there's an attempt now also to change the subject, to draw people away from what brought us to the point where our country's economy is on its knees.
And it's easy to talk about what we're spending, but to ignore the collapse in the revenue of American states driven by housing and unemployment and take it out on the teachers is shameful, I think, beyond what any of us can comprehend. Just take a look at Wisconsin as an example. After the financial crash, home prices off a cliff, unemployment spikes. Guess what that does to tax revenues? Dropping and continuing to do so. When you're not making as much money, you can't pay as much out, can you? But if the reason your revenue was hit was because of a fraudulent crime, well, that's a different conversation. And when it was Wall Street's fraud at the heart of so much of this, well, then states like Wisconsin and your own state stop making nearly so much money. So something to think about as we continue in this debate, instead of bashing the teachers and the firefighters for being so greedy. Shouldn't we be going after the banksters and the politicians they fund, including our own president?